Hello, everybody. Just thought I'd do an overview of all of my best finds for 2011. Really don't even know where to start. It's the main thing, but guess we'll start with maybe like the tools. But here's like probably the nicest. Actually, it is the nicest mano I've ever found. I got a pretty nice round grinder, but this thing here is nice. It come out of the big sea of dirt. And some of the nicer tools I found this year. Nice adze. That's out of the dirt. There's a nice adze. That's actually, I think this is out of the creek, and you probably seen some of these last night, but that's fresh out of the bank. This was actually in the creek for a while, but still some cortex on there, but it's all there. This little thing here, I don't know if I'd call it just some kind of scraper more. It's probably a classic scraper right here. Nice colors. This here is absolutely the best blade scraper I've ever found in the creek, I think. I'd call it a tool more than a preform, because I had my good digital camera. It's actually got edge work on it. And then here's a really cool adze. Nice bullseye. Little chip in the blade there, but I just don't case my tools anymore. I'd like to have a nice big Reiki case, but the wood cases are just too expensive to fill with tools. Big old chunk on that side, man. Look at that. I had really nice on this side. Always had one nasty side, but even though this is broke, it still goes in the Dalton transitional case. And it's a shame this thing was broke. If it wouldn't have been broke, it'd have probably been over 4 inches, that's for sure. That's 3.5, just broke. I think that was right before the first of the year. It may have been after the first year, but that's that hemp pill I found with Devin and Tim that one day. Really nice colorful Johnson. Man, I wish I had my PC and using my digital camera, and it just shows things so much nicer. And not having this straight, that's probably not helping. And I'm not sure what this point is, but man, and